All right, let's dive into prepping for that cultural center director interview. You sent over some awesome resources from RoleCatcher, their career guide and interview guide.
Oh, yeah, these are great.
And honestly, this isn't just about checking boxes. It's about understanding what this role, what it really means, like in today's world,
It really is, yeah. And RoleCatcher really gets that. Like their guide, it really dives into the unique challenges and rewards of, well, of leading a cultural center, especially now with how technology and inclusion are reshaping things.
Yeah, for sure. Right from the start, they grab your attention, saying cultural center directors, they aren't just managing buildings, they're building community.
It's a great way to put it.
But like, what does that even look like?
Yeah.
In practice, I mean.
Well, it's about fostering space, a
Yeah.
space where people can connect, not just with the arts, but with each other. Think diverse events, exhibitions that resonate, educational programs that spark curiosity. And of course, you've got all the behind the scenes stuff, managing staff, budgets, and just making sure the center is visible, vibrant, a real part of the community.
Yeah, that's a lot to juggle for sure. So let's dive right into these interview questions that RoleCatcher provides, because I think they offer like the best insight into what they're really looking for, right?
I think so.
First up, this one. Can you tell us about your experience managing cultural events and programming? Seems simple enough, but I bet there's a lot packed into that one.
Absolutely. They're not just asking for like a list, of events you've handled. They want to see your process, your budget awareness, how you measure the impact of what you create.
Okay, so instead of just saying, I organized this concert, you'd want to talk about how you planned it, how you stayed within budget, maybe even how you, I don't know, assessed its success, or like,
Yeah.
what are some other examples that come to mind?
Hmm. Imagine you led a community art project, right? Instead of just describing it, you could discuss how you identified a community need, how you built partnerships to secure funding, and how you tailored the project to be inclusive, accessible to everyone.
That's good. Okay, so it's about demonstrating that you can think strategically, not just like execute tasks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And RoleCatcher's AI can actually analyze your answers and give you feedback on how well you're doing this.
Exactly. It can identify if you're just listing tasks or truly showcasing your skills. It might even suggest specific examples from your experience that highlight your budget management or impact assessment abilities.
Wow, that's amazing. So it's like having a virtual coach
Yeah,
fine-tuning your answers to match what this specific employer is looking for.
that's a good way to put it.
That's so cool.
Yeah, and the cool thing is the feedback is tailored to the specific role. So what works for a cultural center director might be different from, say, a marketing manager, even if the question's the same.
Right, right. That makes a lot of sense. Okay, let's move on to another question RoleCatcher highlights. This one, how do you stay up to date with current cultural trends and developments? I feel like this one's like a potential minefield.
It can be, yeah. If you're not prepared, interviewers want to see genuine curiosity, initiative, Saying you scroll through social media isn't going to cut it.
So what would impress them?
Think about the publications you read, the thought leaders you follow, maybe even conferences or workshops you've attended. It's about showing that you're actively engaged in the cultural sector, not just passively consuming content.
Yeah, I get it. And this ties back to RoleCatcher's career guide, right?
Yeah.
They emphasize continuous learning
Yeah.
as like essential for this role.
Absolutely, yeah. The guide even suggests like specific professional development resources and organizations to connect with, which can be super helpful when preparing for this question. It shows you're not just saying you're committed to learning, you're actually doing it.
Okay, good point. Now for a question that's super relevant today. How do you ensure that cultural programming is inclusive and representative of the community? I feel like this goes way beyond just saying, I value diversity, right?
Oh, absolutely. This is where your actions speak louder than words,
Yeah.
Think about concrete examples where you've incorporated inclusivity into a program or event. Maybe you partnered with a local community organization or designed an outreach strategy to engage underrepresented groups.
Okay. So it's about showcasing your process for ensuring inclusivity. RoleCatcher's Guide suggests engaging diverse voices in the planning process.
Yeah.
Did you have any examples where you did this effectively?
Oh, definitely. One example that comes to mind is when I was working on a project about local history. We partnered with the local indigenous community to ensure that their perspectives and stories were accurately and respectfully represented. It wasn't just about checking a box. It was about, co-creating a more authentic and inclusive narrative.
That's great. That's a fantastic example. And it highlights that the building community isn't just a buzzword. It's about actively seeking out diverse perspectives.
Yeah.
And collaborating with those who might have been historically excluded.
Exactly.
All right, let's tackle another question here. Can you give an example of how you have worked with community partners to create cultural programming? It seems like building bridges is a big part of this job.
It's essential, yeah. Cultural centers, they can't exist in isolation.
Yeah.
They need to collaborate with other organizations, local businesses, community groups to thrive.
Right.
This question is about demonstrating your ability to build those relationships
Yeah.
and work effectively with others.
Okay, so how do you approach this question in a way that goes beyond just listing partners?
Focus on a specific partnership, one that had a tangible impact.
Hmm.
Talk about the challenges you faced, how you navigated different perspectives, and ultimately what you achieved together.
Yeah.
Maybe you secured funding through a joint grant proposal or co-hosted an event that reached a wider audience.
Yeah, right. It's about showing that you can be a leader who collaborates, not just directs. And I bet RoleCatcher's AI can give you some pointers on how to showcase your collaborative skills effectively. Right?
It can, yeah. It can analyze your answers and highlight areas where you could provide more specific examples or demonstrate your ability to overcome challenges in a collaborative setting. It might even suggest focusing on partnerships that align with the specific values or goals of the cultural center you're interviewing with.
Okay, that's good to know. Now let's move on to the questions that go beyond the big picture stuff.
All right, let's talk about the practical skills like budget management, marketing, even conflict resolution. Those are just as important for a cultural center director.
Yeah, totally. Starting with budget management, RoleCatcher's Guide advises against just saying, I'm good with money. What kind of examples would really impress the interviewers?
Think about times you've effectively allocated resources, tracked expenses, or even secured funding. Maybe you negotiated a better deal with a vendor, or found creative ways to stretch a limited budget, or even wrote a successful grant proposal.
So instead of just saying you're good with numbers, you're demonstrating your understanding of how to make those numbers work for the organization's goals, basically.
Exactly.
And I imagine this is where RoleCatcher's AI can be really helpful.
It can, yeah. It can analyze your responses and suggest specific metrics or achievements to highlight. For example, it might suggest quantifying your accomplishments by saying, I successfully managed a budget of X dollars and achieved a Y% return on investment.
Right. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. It's about being specific and showing that you can achieve concrete results. Now let's talk about marketing, because in today's world, a cultural center director needs to be savvy about reaching audiences.
Definitely, yeah. It's not just about putting up posters anymore. This question is about showcasing your understanding of different marketing channels, your ability to target specific audiences, and how you measure the effectiveness of your campaigns.
Yeah, totally. So instead of just saying, I'm good at social media, you'd want to talk about a specific campaign you ran, maybe on Facebook or Instagram, and how you tracked its success.
Exactly, yeah. Maybe you use data analytics to refine your targeting. Or A/B tested different ad copy to optimize engagement. And don't forget about offline marketing tactics like community partnerships or events.
Right.
The key is to show that you understand how to reach your target audience and measure the impact of your efforts.
Right. Okay. Now let's not shy away from the tough stuff. What about that question on conflict resolution? RoleCatcher's Guide suggests using the STAR method to answer behavioral questions like this.
That's a great approach. The STAR method helps you structure your answer by, outlining the situation, task, action, and result of a specific conflict you resolved. It helps you tell a compelling story that highlights your problem solving and communication skills.
So for this question, you'd want to think about a time you successfully mediated a disagreement related to cultural programming. Yeah. Maybe there were conflicting visions for an event, or a community group felt their needs weren't being met.
Right. The key is to focus on how you approached the situation, the steps you took to resolve the conflict, and the positive outcome you achieved.
Right.
Maybe you facilitated a compromise or found a creative solution that addressed everyone's concerns. or even learned valuable lessons about communication and collaboration.
And I bet RoleCatcher's AI can help you analyze your star stories and make sure they're hitting all the right notes.
It can, yeah. It can identify if you're missing key elements of the STAR method, or if your story lacks specific details that would make it more compelling. It might even suggest focusing on conflicts that are relevant to the specific challenges of running a cultural center.
Okay, all right. Let's wrap up this section with the question about managing a team and working collaboratively. It seems like leadership is a crucial part of this role.
It is, yeah. But it's not just about giving orders. This question is about demonstrating leadership that empowers and motivates, not just directs.
So what kind of examples would showcase this collaborative leadership style?
Think about times you fostered teamwork, delegated effectively, provided constructive feedback, and supported the professional development of your team members.
Wow.
Maybe you implemented a new initiative that encouraged collaboration, or mentored a team member who went on to achieve great things.
And again, I imagine RoleCatcher's AI can be really helpful in analyzing your answers
Oh, yeah.
and suggesting specific actions or outcomes that demonstrate your leadership abilities.
Absolutely. It can help you refine your stories to showcase your leadership style in a way that aligns with the specific needs and values of the cultural center you're interviewing with.
Wow, we've covered a lot of ground already. And
Yeah.
it's clear that this role, it demands a lot, but it's also incredibly exciting and impactful. Before we move on to RoleCatcher's AI advantage, I think it's worth taking a moment to reflect on what we've learned so far.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've explored several key interview questions and how to approach them in a way that showcases your skills and experience. But more importantly, we've gained a deeper understanding of what it truly means to be a cultural center director in today's world.
It's about being a community builder, a passionate advocate for the arts,
Yeah.
and a leader who can navigate the complexities of a rapidly evolving cultural landscape.
Could have said it better myself. And it really does feel like this role, like the role of a cultural center director, it's evolving, becoming even more, well, multifaceted.
It is. It is. And speaking of multifaceted, we've got to talk about how RoleCatcher uses AI to help you shine in your application. It's not just about acing the interview, right?
Right. Your CV or resume, that's your first impression. And RoleCatcher's AI-powered builder. It's like having a personalized career coach right there in your corner. It goes beyond just scanning for keywords.
Okay, so how does it work? Does it like actually write your CV for you?
Not exactly. It analyzes the job description you're targeting, identifies the key skills and experience they're looking for. Then it suggests relevant accomplishments from your own background to highlight.
Oh, that's cool. Okay, so it's like it helps you tailor your CV to each specific job you apply for. That's way more powerful than just using like a generic template.
It is, yeah. Think of it this way. You might have amazing experience organizing a community festival, but if the job description emphasizes budget management, the AI might suggest you focus on how you secured funding or stayed under budget for that festival,
Right.
It helps you tell the right story for the right audience.
Yeah, that's brilliant. It's like it's helping you connect the dots between your experience and what the employer is looking for. And I bet this is especially helpful for someone who's maybe transitioning into a cultural center director role, like from a different field.
Absolutely. Yeah, it can help you translate skills from other areas into a language that resonates with cultural institutions.
Yeah.
And don't forget the AI feedback on interview practice.
Oh,
You can literally practice answering those tough questions, and the AI will analyze your responses.
wow. So you get personalized feedback on how you're coming across, not just on what you're saying.
Exactly. It might point out if you're, rambling, not being specific enough,
Yeah.
or even using language that's too casual. It's like having a personal coach giving you tips to sound more confident and articulate.
Okay, I'm seriously impressed. It sounds like RoleCatcher's AI features, they can be a game changer for anyone applying for this kind of role. And it aligns perfectly with their overall approach, right? Which is about empowering you with knowledge and tools to succeed.
It does. It's about leveling the playing field, and giving everyone access to insights that might have traditionally been reserved for those with like insider connections or expensive career coaches.
I love that. So we've talked a lot about interview questions and how to approach them, but I think it's important to like circle back to the bigger picture here. What are the key takeaways you'd want our listener to walk away with?
First and foremost, this role is about building community. It's about understanding the needs and aspirations of your community and creating a space where everyone feels welcome, inspired, connected.
Yeah, and that requires a unique blend of skills, right? It's not just about being passionate about the arts. You need leadership skills, budget management know-how,
Hmm.
marketing savvy, and a deep commitment to inclusivity.
Exactly. And it's about being adaptable, forward thinking. The cultural landscape is constantly evolving, so you need to be able to anticipate trends, embrace new technologies, and constantly be learning and growing.
And I think that's where RoleCatcher's resources really shine. They don't just give you surface level advice. They delve into the complexities of the role and equip you with practical tools to navigate those challenges.
Absolutely. They provide a roadmap for not just landing the job, but for thriving in it and making a real difference in your community.
Speaking of making a difference, let's talk about that final question RoleCatcher highlights. What is your vision for bringing culture to life?
Hmm.
I feel like this one goes beyond just showcasing your skills. It's about like revealing your passion and your purpose.
It is. It's an invitation to share your unique perspective on what role arts and culture play in society and how you envision contributing to that. Don't be afraid to be bold and ambitious here. Talk about the issues you care about, the communities you want to serve, and the impact you hope to make.
It's about connecting your personal values to the mission of the cultural center, right?
Hmm.
Showing that you're not just applying for a job, but for an opportunity to make a meaningful contribution.
Precisely. And this is where your authentic self needs to shine through. What what makes you excited about this work? What unique experiences and perspectives do you bring to the table? Let your passion and purpose be your guide.
That's such great advice. It's not just about giving the right answers. It's about letting your genuine enthusiasm and commitment shine through. And I think that's something that even the most advanced AI can't replicate.
It's the human element that truly connects with interviewers and makes you stand out from the crowd. It's about showing that you're not just a collection of skills and experiences, but a passionate individual who's ready to make a real impact.
And that brings us to the end of our deep dive into prepping for that cultural center director interview. We've covered a lot of ground, from dissecting those tricky questions to exploring the power of RoleCatcher's AI-powered platform.
Mhm.
But most importantly, we hope we've ignited your excitement for this incredible career path.
It's been an inspiring journey, yeah. We've talked about the importance of building community, fostering inclusivity, embracing innovation, and staying true to your passion and purpose.
And we've encouraged you to use all of these insights to not just ace your interview, but to embark on a fulfilling career that makes a positive difference in your community.
Remember, you have the power to shape the cultural landscape and create a space where everyone feels seen, heard, and inspired.
So go out there, embrace the challenge, and let your passion shine through. We believe in you. Exploring this role, it's been really inspiring. It feels like so much more than like just a job. It's
Yeah.
about shaping a community, connecting people through the arts.
It really is. And that sense of purpose, interviewers are going to pick up on that more than just hitting the right keywords. They're looking for someone whose values, align with the center's mission.
So even beyond the specific questions that RoleCatcher provides, what's like the overarching message you'd want our listener to keep in mind as they prepare?
Hmm. Authenticity. I know it sounds cliche, but being genuinely passionate about this work, it'll shine through more than any, rehearsed answer. Let that guide your prep.
I love that, because even with all the AI tools in the world, that human spark, it's irreplaceable. It's what makes an interview memorable. What makes someone stand out as a leader.
Exactly. And remember, the interview is a two-way street. You're assessing them too. Is this the right cultural environment for you to thrive in?
That's such a good point. It's easy to get caught up in wanting the job,
Hmm.
but making sure it's the right fit for your goals and values, that's crucial.
It is. And as you go through RoleCatcher's resources, or even, practice with their AI, keep asking yourself, does this resonate with my vision for what a cultural center can be?
Because ultimately,
Yeah.
that's what will make you the most effective leader. Not just someone who manages a building, but someone who truly brings culture to life.
Couldn't have said it better myself. And for our listener, I'd say this. Go into that interview with confidence, with your authentic self, and with that spark of passion for the arts. You've got this.
And that brings us to the end of our deep dive. We've unpacked the role of a cultural center director, explored those tricky interview questions, and even delved into the world of AI with RoleCatcher. But most importantly, We hope we've ignited your excitement for this incredible career path.
It's been a pleasure sharing these insights, and we can't wait to see what you accomplish.
Best of luck with your interview. And remember, the journey of bringing culture to life, it starts now.